employee involvement and motivations. We've been talking about participation and empowering, right? Giving the employees a voice and letting them make some of their own decisions and some of their own goals as ways to get them more involved in the work, right? So here we go, areas of employee involvement. So it might be things like personnel, job-related decisions. I made the point earlier about the employees might get to pick who gets to be on what job rotation they have. They may get to nominate who their representative is to managers. They may get to bid on jobs, things like that. Administrative matters, work schedules. I just told the story about Thanksgiving weekend, right? They get to decide, do they want to work on Wednesday, or do they want to work on Friday on Thanksgiving weekend, right? And they picked Friday so they could do their cooking on Wednesday, right? Made no difference to managers, but they let them pick. Product quality decisions, right? The employees may get to pick that, say, okay, this is not okay to have this level of quality. How might we fix that, right? And let the employees figure it out. It's always been I told you I was a quality engineer. One of my little tricks from that job, particularly when I first got in the job, was the employees would come to me and say, here's a problem. And they want to just sort of throw it out in front of you. And you look at them and you realize they'd been working there maybe 20 years. And they'd been on that particular production area for a year, 2, 3, something like that. They were not a rookie and they were not a kid, right? So if you weren't exactly sure what to do, one of the great things to do is say, okay, I understand the problem, why it's important. What do you recommend? And often they would look at me and say, what do I recommend? Yeah, you work here. You see the problem. You've seen all these products come through this area for years. What do you recommend we do to fix it? And you could tell they hadn't been asked before, or in a long time anyway, and they hadn't even thought to answer their own questions. So they would stand there, think about it a little bit, and go, well, I suppose we can do this. And I would say, and I might even been very unfamiliar with like these were police radios we were building. I might even be unfamiliar with that part of the radio circuitry. And they would say, well, might be able to do this, and that'd probably work. And I'd say, what makes you think that would work? And they'd say, well, this problem happened 1.5 years ago, and that's what we did, and it fixed it. And it happened 3 years ago, and that's what we did, and we fixed it. So it'll probably work this time. And I'd say, well, that sounds like probably a good reason. So let's try it. And they would go try it, and I go, I fixed it. And I'd say, yeah, you fixed it, not me. You fixed it. So next time, what are you going to do? And so they look at me like, am I allowed to fix it? Yeah. Yes, you are in fact allowed to fix quality problems, even though you're an assembly worker. So what do you recommend we do so this doesn't keep happening over and over again, right? And we'd work something out, right? Real quickly, they got the idea that they're on a team and they're making things better, as opposed to being ordered about and having an autocratic leader who's going to tell them what to do and just do as you're told and don't open your mouth, right? And that made a big difference in that area. Morale went up. And not only did they make higher quality radios, but they made more radios. Why? Because they felt like they had a say. They felt like they had ownership in the area, right? That's sort of what empowerment brings to it. Areas of employee involvement, right? So the second thing on this PowerPoint is techniques and issues in employee involvement. So empowerment through work teams. So quality circles were a thing that the Americans learned from the Japanese in the probably around the 80s, around the 1980s. And the quality of circles is just this. You take all your workers in an area, and maybe from a part of that area, maybe the workers in the area are too many, so you take maybe like shipping, right? And you get together in a huddle, a circle, right? A work team. There's people working shipping, and they get together in a circle, and you talk about things from a quality standpoint. That's the quality circle. And by the way, productivity issues, shipping on time issues, those are quality issues, right? What causes things to be non-productive? Things are lost. Things are broken. Things are not there. Parts from vendors don't work when they get here, right? So those things are productivity issues, but they're clearly quality issues, right? So they're within the area for a quality circle to discuss, right? And then, just like I was suggesting earlier, this team gets together and decide, first of all, what are our problems? Second of all, let's rank order those problems. What are the what of those problems, which ones cause a lot of trouble around here, right? And that's where it helps to have a member of management who's the mentor or the sits in on this team. They're not necessarily on the team. They're certainly not driving the team, but the team excuse me,